Hello everyone, I'm Kexin Yang. I'm a third-year PhD student in HCII from Carnegie Mellon University. I'll be talking about our first classroom-based prototyping study of dynamically combining individual and collaborative learning. Individual and collaborative learning are common activities that probably everyone has experienced. In classroom, the switching between them usually happens in a very synchronized manner, whereas everyone will switch at the same time and work on the same content. However, we found that sometimes teachers will team up students to work collaboratively in a very spontaneous way to help out certain students who might be struggling, which inspire us to study dynamic combination of the two activities, which we also refer to as dynamic transitions. So what does it mean? Firstly, it means the student transition between individual and collaborative learning while using online tutoring software. Secondly, such transitions may happen opportunistically based on ongoing learning situations instead of in a very pre-planned way. Thirdly, students' pairing may be done in a very self-paced way, which allow personalized pairing time, collaboration content, and partners. It remains unknown whether or not the dynamic transitions can bring about more learning benefits than the regular pre-planned transitions. However, we hypothesize that dynamic transitions hold potential to bring about better learning outcomes and more personalized learning experience for students. So, what does a teacher need to do to manage such dynamic transitions? Well, a teacher will need to pay close attention to each student's individual progress to decide when to pair them up, choose when and with whom to pair up students, including what content to assign them. Finally, they also need to monitor collaboration productivity in order to decide when to stop and unpair students. All of this may happen while teachers still try to simultaneously help other students. So you can see it can be a very challenging task, isn't it? Many prior works has built teachers tools that convey students' analytics and help teachers manage and reflect on teaching. However, there hasn't been a technology ecosystem that allows human AI co-orchestration of transitions between individual and collaborative learning. Also, literature has shown that a combination of individual and collaborative learning is often more effective than either mode alone. But there hasn't been studies that try out and evaluate technologies that support a dynamic transitions of them in classroom. In our work, we first created a technology ecosystem that can support dynamic transitions. The ecosystem has three components, and the first component is a standard equation-solving tutoring system. It provides step-by-step evaluation, immediate feedback, and on-request customized hints. It also supports knowledge tracing of students' learning and mastery learning. And the second component is a collaborative learning software. Two students will respectively take the role of a solver and tutor. The solver solves the math problem and can seek help from their partner, while the tutor helps the solver through step-by-step evaluation and feedback via the chat window. The third component is a new teacher-facing orchestration tool named Pair Up. We designed the tool based on constant and iterative feedback from teachers' needs in their daily teaching through human-centered user research, such as interviews, survey, and co-design sessions with teachers. So what are some interesting and new features in the tool? First, in Pair Up, it displays in real time students' knowledge mastery of a given knowledge component based on Bayesian knowledge tracing. Secondly, in Pair Up, system will in real time process students' interaction data and display learning status icon on students' name card, such as whether or not students is making lots of errors or misusing the software. Another unique feature of Pair Up is that it tries to leverage AI to facilitate teachers in making these educational decisions. Based on what pairing algorithm a teacher selects, it provides AI-based pairing suggestions on whom should be paired up at what time. For example, the pair by different knowledge policy will suggest partners to maximize the probability that the tutor is able to help the solver on the skills that they're struggling on. However, despite the system suggestion, our prior user research has informed us that teachers really care about still having the final control in classroom decisions. Thus, in our tool, teachers can still override the suggestions and make final pairing decisions. Teachers can decide which assignments to select and when to pair students or to unpair them. we try our system in a classroom-based prototyping study. The goal for the prototyping study is mainly to see whether or not our tools can adequately support teachers in managing dynamic transitions, as well as whether teachers and students can find such dynamic transitions to be desirable and of pedagogical value. We conduct an in-person classroom study in a suburban public school near Pittsburgh with 5 school teachers and 200 students. Afterwards, we conducted teacher interview, student survey, and log data analysis to unpack the process and understand their experiences. In our study, we found that teachers generally find the tool intuitive to use and adequate in supporting them to manage dynamic transitions. Teachers like the study experience as it provides them with a different way of teaching compared to their regular classroom lecturing, allow them to monitor and visualize students' real-time progress, as well as allowing them to multitask, especially for those who use the tool on their mobile device, as they can walk around the classroom while forming pairs using the tool. Some teachers mentioned they like the experience as it lets them differentiate the learning a little bit better. But there are some reservations from special education teachers on whether or not their students can focus when switching between activities. We found that many students like the experience as they could do things on their own, but also have someone to be partnered with. They also claim the experience to be very cool and different from other sites. About half of the students find a mix of individual and collaborative learning to be helpful. One potential reason that this rate is not higher is that we found students want more agency and control in the pairing process, and knowing whom they will be paired with and when. Most of them also wish that they could choose their own partners, which was not the case in our current tool. So you might be curious what teachers think about this then. Interestingly, while teachers like some student control over when to collaborate, they do not want to give the full control. Teachers have concerns that students pair who do not get along might lead to unproductive collaboration and social issues. And most teachers thought that it might help if their partners were anonymous. So this shows that there might be a potential tension between teacher and students' preferred level of agency and control in the classroom. To sum up our finding, in this first prototyping of our technology that support dynamic transitions, we found that students and teachers can generally use the tool autonomously. Teachers are facilitated by the AI system and can accept and override AI's pairing suggestions. Facilitated by our tools, data shows that teachers effectively choose more advanced learning students to be the tutor. Teachers see such dynamic transition to be of pedagogical value, and all of them reported likely to use the tool in their future classroom. Teachers feel the classroom management load is similar or easier to their regular load. Based on the needs revealed in this study, one of our ongoing work involves understanding how to balance students and teachers' preferred control, such as to allow more agency of students without letting teachers feel out of control. We're also trying to conduct a control experiment to compare and evaluate the learning effect of dynamic transitions. Thank you for listening to my talk, and I'm happy to take any questions.